Hello, thank you for tuning in. You are tuned into Esoteric Guidance Extraterrestrial Earth Angel, and my name is Nehru. We are going to read about the adolescence of Yeshua. Okay, this is not in the Bible anywhere. Okay, and there's reasons for that. Okay, so this is a gospel that Thomas wrote. Okay, concerning the childhood of the one that they call Jesus. Okay? Their name is Issa, I-S-A, or Yeshua. It is not Jesus. We can ask that very quickly. And even AI will tell us their name is not Jesus. And they are not Caucasian, blonde-haired, blue-eyed European. Okay? So, is Jesus' real name Jesus? No. Jesus' real name is not Jesus. The name Jesus is the English version of the original name Yeshua. Okay? All right? The name was changed to Jesus in the 17th century, long after they were no longer here. Okay? So, let's go ahead and, that's the book of Hermas. Let's go ahead and get into the adolescence years of Yeshua. Okay? I, Thomas, the Israelite, tell unto you, even all the brethren that are of the Gentiles, to make known unto you the works of the childhood of our Lord Jesus Christ, and his mighty deeds, even as he did what he was born in, even all that he did when he was born in our land, whereof the beginning is thus. Okay? And again, that translation, Lord Jesus Christ, that is a translation, that is not their name. This little child, Issa, when he was 5 years old, was playing at a ford of a brook, and he gathered together the waters that flowed there into pools and made them straightway clean. Okay, so he cleansed the water, purified the water. The water was not good for drinking back then, much like Vietnam and other countries. Other countries are. You should not drink the tap water. Okay? And commanded them by his word alone. And having made soft clay, he fashioned thereof 12 sparrows. And it was the Sabbath when he did these things, or made them, and there were also other little children playing with him. And a certain Jew, when he saw that Jesus, Yeshua, did this, playing upon the Sabbath day, departed straightway and told his father Joseph. Again, Joseph is not his father, he's just a guardian. Lo, thy child is at the brook, and he hath taken clay and fashioned 12 little birds, and hath polluted the Sabbath day. And Joseph came to the place and saw, and cried out to him, saying, Wherefore doest thou these things, doest thou these things on the Sabbath, which is not lawful to do? But Issa clapped his hands together and cried out to the sparrows and said to them, Go. And the sparrows took their flight and went away chirping. And when the Jews saw it, they were amazed and departed and told, I just got a crown bump, and told their chief men that which they had seen Issa do. Okay? So he fashioned 12 birds out of clay, and those 12 birds were made alive to fly. Okay? Again, we're talking about a 5-year-old child. But the son of Annas, the scribe, was standing there with Joseph, and he took a branch of a willow and dispersed the waters which Issa had gathered together. And when Issa saw what was done, he was wroth or angry, and said unto him, O evil, ungodly, and foolish one, what hurt did the pools and the waters do to thee? Behold, now also thou shalt be withered like a tree, and shall not bear leaves, neither root nor fruit. And straightway that lad withered up wholly. But Issa departed and went unto Joseph's house. But the parents of him that was withered took him up, bewailing his youth, and brought him to Joseph, and accused him, for thou hast such a son which doeth such deeds. So they saw it as evil. After that, again, he went through the village, and a child ran and dashed against his shoulder. And Issa was provoked and said unto him, Thou shalt not finish thy course, go all thy way. Okay. And immediately he fell down and died. And certain, when they saw what was done, said, but certain, when they saw what was done, said, Whence was this child born? For that every word of his is an accomplished work. And the parents of him that was dead came unto Joseph and blamed him, saying, That thou hast such a child canst not dwell with us in the village. Or do thou teach him to bless and not to curse, for he slayeth our children. Okay. And Joseph called the young child apart and admonished him, saying, Wherefore doest thou such things, that these suffer and hate us and persecute us? But Issa said, I know that these thy words are not thine. Nevertheless, for thy sake I will hold my peace. But they shall bear their punishment. Okay, so karma is karma. Okay. And straightway they that cursed him were smitten with blindness. And so they were cursing him as a child. Okay, when he was a child, they were cursing him. And they that saw it were sore afraid and perplexed, and said concerning him, that every word which he spake, whether it were good or bad, it was a deed, and became a marvel. And when they saw that Issa had so done, Joseph arose and took hold upon his ear and wrung it sore. Okay, so you know how parents do that, take you by the ear, right? And the young child was wroth and said unto him, It sufficeth thee to seek and not to find, and verily thou hast done unwisely. Knowest thou that I am thine? Vex me not. Okay, so this is a child telling their parents, do you know who I am? Okay, don't hurt me or punish me because of what I do. This is a child telling their parent that. Now, a certain teacher, Zacchaeus by name, stood there, and he heard in part when Issa said these things to his father, and he marveled greatly that being a young child he spake such manners. And after a few days he came near unto Joseph, and said unto him, Thou hast a wise child, and he hath understanding. Come, deliver him to me, that he may learn letters, and I will teach him with the letters all knowledge, that he salute all the elders and honor them as grandfathers and fathers, and love them as his own years. And he told him all the letters from Alpha even to Omega clearly. Who is the Alpha and Omega? That is Most High. Okay. Just got touch on my right ear, tingling kind of on my right ear. That's ancestor speaking. Okay. With much questioning. But Issa looked upon Zacchaeus the teacher and said unto him, Thou that knowest not the Alpha according to its nature, how canst thou teach others the beta? So if you do not know the Alpha, how can you teach the beta? If you do not know the first, how can you teach the next? Thou hypocrite, first, if thou knowest it, teach the Alpha, and then we will believe thee concerning the beta. Then began he to confound the mouth of the teacher concerning the first letter, and he could not prevail to answer him. And in the hearing of many, the young child said to Zacchaeus, Hear, O teacher, the ordinance of the first letter, and pay heed to this, how that it hath what follows. So it says something. What follows? What follows is really unintelligible in this, and in all parallel text, a literal version would run something like this. Okay, so he's given, so there's an explanation here as to what's going on. Okay, how that it hath lines and a middle mark, which thou seest, common to both, going apart, coming together, raised up on high, dancing a corrupt word of three signs, like in kind, a corrupt word, balanced, equal in measure. Thou hast the rules of the Alpha. That's interesting. Now when Zacchaeus the teacher heard such and so many allegories of the first letter spoken by the young child, he was perplexed at his answer and his instruction being so great, and said to them that were there, Woe is me, wretch that I am! I am confounded. I have brought shame to myself by drawing to me this young child. Take him away, therefore, I beseech thee, my brother Joseph. I cannot endure the severity of his look. I cannot once make clear my word or his. This young child is not earthly born. This is one that can tame even fire, but like this one begotten before the making of the world. Okay? Be like this one begotten before the making of the world. What belly bare this? What womb nurtured it? I know not. Woe is me, O friend, he putteth me from my sense. I cannot follow his understanding. I have deceived myself, thrice wretched man that I am. I strove to get me a disciple, and I am found to have a master. So he was seeking someone to teach, but Yeshua, Issa, is an ascended master. Okay? They are. Look them up. Look up the list of ascended masters. You'll see Jesus's, Issa's name, Yeshua's name on there. I think, O my friends, upon my shame, for that being old, I have been overcome by a young child, and I am even ready to faint and to die because of the boy, for I am not able at this present hour to look him in the face. And when all men say that I have been overcome by a little child, what have I to say? And what can I tell concerning the lines of the first letter whereof he spake to me? I am ignorant, O my friends, for neither beginning nor end of it do I know. Wherefore I beseech thee, my brother Joseph, take him away unto thine house, for he is somewhat great, whether God or angel, or what should I call him? I know not. And we are here. Okay, we are here. And as the Jews were counseling Zacchaeus, the young child laughed greatly and said, Now let those bear fruit that were barren, and let them see that were blind in heart. I am come from above that I may curse them and call them to the things that are above, even as he commanded which he hath sent me for your sakes. And when the young child ceased speaking, immediately all they were made whole, which had come under his curse. And no man after that durst provoke him, lest he should curse him, and he should be maimed. Now, after certain days, Issa was playing in the upper story, okay, so second, third story, so floor, right, of a certain house. And one of the young children that played with him fell down from the house and died. And the other children, when they saw it, fled, and Issa remained alone. And the parents of him that was dead came and accused him that he had cast him down. And Issa said, I did not cast him down, but they reviled him still. Then Issa leaped down from the roof and stood by the body of the child and cried out with a loud voice and said, Zeno, for so was his name called. Okay, that was the child's name. Arise and tell me, did I cast thee down? And straightway, immediately, he arose and said, Nay, Lord, thou didst not cast me down, but didst raise me up. And when they saw it, they were amazed, and the parents of the child glorified God for the sign which had come to pass, and worshipped Issa. We're not meant to worship Issa, by the way. So any religion that calls you to worship Jesus, they are false. They are a fallacy. Okay? Issa isn't the one to be worshipped. They are an ascended master. They are not the Almighty. They are not Aravat. Okay? And where are we at? Okay. After a few days, a certain young man was cleaving wood in the neighborhood, and the axe fell and cut in sunder the sole of his foot. And losing much blood, he was at the point to die. And when there was a tumult and concourse, the young child, Issa, also ran thither, and by force passed through the multitude, so there was a crowd of people, and straightway multitude, and took hold upon the foot, and he said unto the young man, Arise now and cleave the wood, and remember me. And when the multitude saw what was done, they worshipped the young child, saying, Verily the Spirit of God dwelleth in this young child. It's interesting that there was that recognition, and then there was also those who deny, right? Now, when he was 6 years old, so all that happened when he was 5 years old. Now, when he was 6 years old, his mother sendeth him to draw water and bear it into the house, and gave him a pitcher. But in the press he struck it against another, and the pitcher was broken. But Issa spread out the garment which was upon him, and filled it with water, and brought it to his mother. And when his mother saw what was done, she kissed him. And she kept within herself the mysteries which she saw him do. Okay, so Mary did not go around bragging. Okay, Mary also understood that there were people who were going to be jealous of her son. She also understood that. Okay, everything is not meant to be shared. Right? I had to learn that. Again, in the time of sowing, the young child went forth with his father to sow wheat in their land. And as his father sowed, the young child Issa sowed also one corn of wheat. And he reaped it and threshed it and made thereof 100 measures. And he called all the poor of the village unto the threshing floor, and that is where you separate the chaff from the wheat. Okay, you thrash the wheat on the floor. Okay, and gave them the wheat, and Joseph took the residue of the wheat. And he was 8 years old when he brought this sign. Okay, so 8 years old. Now his father was a carpenter and made at that time plows and yokes, and there were required of him a bed by a certain rich man that he should make it for him. And whereas one beam with that which he is called the shifting one was too short, and Joseph knew not what to do. The young child Issa said unto his father Joseph, lay down the 2 pieces of wood and make them even at the end next to thee. And Joseph did as the child said unto him, and Issa stood at the other end and took hold upon the shorter beam and stretched it and made it equal to the other. So taking a leg of a chair, a wooden leg or something, right, and stretching it, physically stretching out that piece of wood to make it longer. And his father Joseph saw it and marveled, and he embraced the young child and kissed him, saying, happy am I, for that God hath given me this young child. Right here. But when Joseph saw the understanding of the child and his age, that it was coming to the full, okay, he thought himself again that he should not be ignorant of letters. And he took him and delivered him to another teacher. Again, this is what they will not tell you or do not tell you in the Bible, that Issa was sent out, okay, at the age of 13. I don't know if we'll get to the age of 13 here, but at the age of 13, 12, 13, somewhere around there, he was sent to learn the teachings and spiritual practices, rituals, meditations, sent to learn about chakras, and he was sent to learn about these things, okay, spirituality, for 18 years. He was not subject to his parents for 18 years, as you read in the Bible. Okay? That is not the case. That is a lie. Okay? Okay, another teacher. And the teacher said unto Joseph, first will I teach him the Greek letters, and after that the Hebrew, for the teacher knew the skill of the child and was afraid of him. Notwithstanding, he wrote the alphabet, and Issa pondered thereon a long time and answered him not. And Issa said unto him, if thou be indeed a teacher, and if thou knowest letters well, tell me the power of Alpha, and then will I tell thee the power of the Beta. Okay, and these letters are speaking to not just the alphabet, I believe, okay, but these letters are also speaking to the teachings, the rituals and the practices, spiritual practices, okay, letters. And after that, the Hebrew, first teaching, pondered. Okay, if thou knowest, okay. And the teacher was provoked and smote him on the head. And the young child was hurt and cursed him. And straightway he fainted and fell to the ground on his face, the teacher did. And the child returned unto the house of Joseph, and Joseph grieved and commanded his mother, saying, let him not forth without the door, so do not let him leave. for all they die that provoke him to wrath. Yeah, I think we'll finish. And after some time, yet another teacher, which was a faithful friend of Joseph, said unto him, Bring the young child unto me to the school. Peradventure, I may be able to be cockering. I may be able by cockering him to teach him the letters. And Joseph said, If thou hast no fear, my brother, take him with thee. And he took him with him in fear and much trouble of spirit. But the young child followed him gladly, and going with boldness into the school, he found a book lying upon the pulpit. Right? So where's a pulpit? In the synagogue. Okay? So again, he was sent out to learn from high priestesses, okay? From hierophants. Okay? He was sent out to learn from these beings, other ascended masters. Okay? And taught him the law, and taught the law to them that stood by. Okay, so he took it and read not the letters there that were therein, but opened his mouth and spake by the Holy Spirit, and taught the law to them that stood by. And a great multitude came together and stood there hearkening, and marveled at the beauty of his teaching and the readiness of his words, in that being an infant he uttered such things. But when Joseph heard it, he was afraid and ran into the school, thinking whether his teacher also were without skill or smitten with infirmity. But the teacher said unto Joseph, Know, my brother, that I received this child for a disciple, but he is full of grace and wisdom. And now I beseech thee, brother, take him unto thine house. And when the young child heard that, he smiled upon him and said, Forasmuch as thou hast said well and hast borne right witness, for thy sake shall he also that was smitten be healed. And forthwith the other teacher was healed. And Joseph took the child and departed unto his house. And Joseph, we are right here. And Joseph sent his son James to bind fuel and carry it into his house. And the young child Issa also followed him. And as James was gathering the faggots, that's not what we refer to today as, okay? A viper bit the hand of James, and as he was sore, afflicted, and ready to perish, Issa came near and breathed upon the bite, and straightway the pain ceased, and the serpent burst. And forthwith James continued whole. And after these things, in the neighborhood of Joseph, a little child fell sick and died, and his mother wept sore. And Issa heard that there was a great mourning and trouble, and he ran quickly and found the child dead. And he touched his breast and said, I say unto thee, child, die not, but live, and be with thy mother. And straightway it looked up and laughed. And he said to the woman, Take him up and give him milk, and remember me. And the multitude that stood by saw it and marveled, and said, Of a truth, this young child is either a god or an angel of God, for every word of his is perfect work. Let it be said of us all. And Issa departed thence and was playing with other children. Okay, so he had a childhood, enjoyed playing and all that sort of thing. In addition to being this healer, this profound healer, this never before seen healer. And after some time, there was work of building, and there came a great tumult, and Issa arose and went thither. And he saw a man lying dead, and took hold of his hand, and said, Man, I say unto thee, arise and do thy work. And immediately he arose and worshipped him. And when the multitude saw it, they were astonished, and said, This young child is from heaven, for he hath saved many souls from death, and hath power to save them all his life long. Okay, in the last section here. And when he was 12 years old, his parents went according to the custom unto Jerusalem to the feast of the Passover with their company. And after the Passover they returned to go unto their house. And as they returned, the child Issa went back to Jerusalem, but his parents supposed that he was in their company. And when they had gone a day's journey, they sought him among their kinfolk. And when they found him not, they were troubled, and returned again to the city seeking him. And after the third day they found him in the temple, sitting in the midst of the doctors, and hearing and asking them questions. See, the doctors, spiritual teachers, spiritual other healers, okay, other oracles, empaths. And all men paid heed to him, and marveled how that being a young child, he put to silence the elders and teachers of the people, expounding the heads of the law and parables of the prophets. And his mother Mary came near and said unto him, Child, whereof hast thou so done unto us? Behold, we have sought thee sorrowing. And Issa said unto them, Why seek ye me? Know ye not that I must be in my Father's house? But the scribes and the Pharisees said, Art thou the mother of this child? And she said, I am. And they said unto her, Blessed art thou among women, because God has blessed the fruit of thy womb. For such glory and such excellence and wisdom we have neither seen nor heard at any time. And Issa arose and followed his mother, and was subject to his parents. But his mother kept in mind all that came to pass. And Issa increased his wisdom and stature and grace. Unto him be glory forever and ever. Okay? And again, it says that he was subject to his parents. Okay? But if we look at other canonical texts, we know, again, I was wondering how far this was going to go. We know that he traveled to Tibet, Egypt, and several other places to learn more from these. Again, because we see here it says that he was asking questions and teaching and hearing. Okay? So this is the infancy of the Gospel of Thomas, which covers the infancy of Issa, Yeshua, their adolescence, not their infancy, that's a different book, canonical text, okay? That is available on this channel in the playlist. Okay? But this covers their adolescent years, okay? So thank you so much as always for tuning in. My name is Nehru, and this is Esoteric Guidance, Extraterrestrial Earth Angel. The purpose for which I am here, the 10th and final time, is to teach. Being a Master Builder 33, I come offering all of the wisdoms that I've gathered over the previous 9 lifetimes, including the one that I'm currently living, the 10th lifetime, to help us do what we're meant to do, and that is to ascend. That is to grow. beyond religion, because all religion is death. This is why religion does not share this with you. This is why this is not in any book that is widely published. This is not in the Quran. This is not in the Bible. This is not in any version, King James, New King James, NIV. It's in none of these. Why is that? Because they didn't want you to know what Issa was up to. They didn't want you to know that Jesus was healing from birth. They don't want you to know that. Okay? They don't know that he was sent off to learn from teachers, philosophers, spirit workers. They don't want you to know that. Okay? So thank you so much for tuning in. I looked at the clock at the video time. It was 35:53. 88. Okay. Thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, be encouraged.